This project is a product of my last project where I needed to clamp up this wood so that I could make a lid for this lamp. I didn't use a lot of glue on this because it has more than enough screws in it to hold it together. Contact cement is some pretty nasty stuff, so I always wear a respirator when I'm working with it. There is a low odor formula available now that may be a better alternative. I don't know about adhesion, but it's out there. I'm using mineral spirits to wipe off the excess contact cement, just being careful around the edges so that I don't delaminate what I just laminated. It can be difficult to clamp up small panels and parts with pipe clamps or just using regular clamps, which is why I want to make this type of clamping jig. I'm using a flush trim bit to clean up the edges of the laminate. It can be a little difficult to work with tall pieces like this on the router table, so this might be best done with a handheld router, but I managed. Just adding a small chamfer to all the edges. I purchased this T-Track from Rockler. I always try to catch it on sale where they have the package deal with T-bolts and knobs. It really is a good deal. It's great for doing all kinds of stuff around the shop. You can cut this aluminum track on the miter saw, but it is a very slow cut. Something to note here is just that there are no screws where those dados are. It can be a little difficult to find the right countersink head screws for these tracks, so just make sure you use the right ones. And unknown to me, that's where my camera died at. I used a self-centering bit to locate the track holes, and it's pretty flat. I'm using epoxy to fasten the nutserts into the wood and give them a more positive connection. Putting the screw in from the bottom helps to register the nutsert into the hole. I have the nutsert oriented so that whenever it's in the clamping jig and I apply pressure to the screw, the nutsert is being pushed into the wood instead of being pushed out of the wood. And here I'm applying a liberal amount of Johnson's floor wax to every surface in the hopes that glue will not stick, which is the whole point of this. There are a lot of ways to glue stuff up, but most of them involve some kind of temporary fixture or jig that you have to make every time to suit the material that you're dealing with, or involves using packing tape or wax paper, all of which are temporary solutions. I wanted something that was permanent and worked good for small parts like this. I put 5 screws in the back of this to apply pressure to the material, but I don't think that I really needed to do that. I could have gotten away with 3 screws, as it does provide a lot of clamping pressure, and at some point I could over tighten this and cause things to start to slip. So if that was a concern for you, if you were using thicker material or whatnot, you could add more tracks and that would apply more pressure. And of course, the straighter the material is that you're using, the easier it's going to be to clamp it together. This is straight off the table saw with no jointing. Like that sound, and it's easy to clean up, and just make sure I put paste wax on it to prevent any sticking. My panel turned out really flat and needed very little planing. Hey, thanks for watching.